Hi everyone, I'm Michael Manrique and I'm one of the Habit Guys. We teach realtors prospecting habits so they finally become top producing agents. And welcome to the Realtor Habits Podcast, where agents don't need more stuff, they need better habits. Before we get into today's episode, I want to ask you a question. Are you ready to conquer your fear of prospecting and unlock your full potential as a real estate agent? If you've felt that you're capable of achieving more but are stuck in a cycle of hesitation, distraction, self-doubt, this is your moment to break free. Picture yourself confidently making daily calls, connecting with potential clients, and consistently closing deals. We're hosting a free masterclass called Overcome the Fear of Prospecting, designed to help you step into action and leave fear behind. Whether you're a new agent struggling to get started or an experienced agent looking to break through to the next level, this masterclass is your key to success. Don't let fear hold you back any longer. Sign up now and take the first step toward building the business and life you've always dreamed of. The path to success is closer than you think. And the best part, it's absolutely free. Your breakthrough is waiting. Start your journey with us. All you have to do is visit us at www.habitguys.com/fear. Again, that's habitguys.com/fear. If you know anyone that can gain value from this podcast, please do us a huge favor and share it with them. We're here to help as many realtors as possible, and we appreciate your help to do so. All right, let's get into this episode. This episode's called Focus Like a Top Producer: 3 Science-Backed Habits for Real Estate Success. So what happens often with new students that enter our coaching is that they are going to start, they have a want, a desire, they have a process, a system to implement. And what generally happens is they're going to feel some level of distraction. And this is the inverse of being focused, right, on what they should be doing: the implementation of the system, the script, the consistent calls, the follow-up effort, everything that comes with building the habit of prospecting and building a successful business. Now, those distractions are tied primarily to external issues or internal, issues. And it's not so much issues, it's just data. So what do we mean by data, right? Well, data is essentially information that comes to us either through seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, or smelling. And some of it, obviously, internally, when we're talking about internal distractions, we're talking about what we feel. Is the feeling that we're experiencing, could be our heart starts racing, maybe our palms start sweating, maybe we feel butterflies in the stomach, maybe our neck starts tightening. What does that mean to us? What does that mean to you? Especially when you are prospecting. Does it mean stop, pause, go do something else? Or does it mean, I'm going to push through, I'm doing really well, right? For most, it doesn't mean that, right? That's our body's way, right, to deal with a stressor, right? That is generally, if you're not taught, pain, discomfort is generally negatively associated. And because of that negative association, we tend to look for comfort, or we just, at a bare minimum, want to stop that discomfort. So that's internal distractions that many real estate agents, if not, almost 8 out of 10 face on a daily basis when it comes to prospecting. And then there's external, right? External could be just having your phone next to you, right? Distractions of social media, distractions from people, distractions from other responsibilities outside of your thoughts and feelings. So it's really important to understand that what is critical to the success of agents is figuring out and understanding themselves, understanding how they can focus. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be sharing the latest research on how to stay focused, how we can channel it, protect it, and use it to power up your prospecting and lead generating calls. All right, so let's get into it. First up, let's talk about what's going on in our brains when we're hyper-focused versus distracted. According to a 2024 study from Cognitive, Affective, and Behavioral Neuroscience, our ability to focus deeply has a lot to do with 2 networks in our brain. The frontal part of our brain, right, if you touch your forehead, and the default mode network. when we're in the zone, right? That means like we're prospecting consistently, we're having conversations. These networks desynchronize, right? Essentially, they're out of phase with each other, allowing us to zero in on the task at hand. But when we're less focused, those networks start to sync up and we lose that sharp edge. So for agents, just to break this down in a fundamental way so you could apply it, this finding is a key, right? The more we can create conditions to desynchronize those networks, the more likely we are to stay locked in to each call and resist those distractions. So fundamentally, what this is saying is that we want to stay in the zone, and to stay in the zone, what we want to do is we need to familiarize ourselves with the process, right? The more that we're comfortable in executing a certain script, speaking to a certain type of prospect, right? FSBOs, expireds, or sphere, understanding the objections that come with speaking to those specific prospects. The more comfortable you feel, the more you get into the zone. When you're in the zone, you're not thinking, you're just acting. And when you're acting, that's when opportunities present themselves, right? And that's when you could potentially get clients and deals, and that's the process. All right, next. The role of distraction in visual focus. Now, here's a surprising twist. Distractions might actually have a useful side. So let's break this down. A study in psychological science found that certain distractions can actually sharpen our focus. For example, ignoring a red distractor helped participants zero in on a nearby green target. The lesson here, it's not about eliminating distractions altogether. It's about setting up a contrast that helps the key task stand out. So the key task is prospecting. So for realtors, that might mean creating an environment with subtle contrast. Maybe it's setting up your workplace with a key call scripts highlighted in contrasting colors, or visually separating your call list from other tasks. Small adjustments like these can make it easier to stay focused on those critical client calls. And actually, that's exactly how our student scripts are designed. We actually have them color coded, and we have them broken down into phases so they understand what phase they should be passing through each conversation. And this ties again to helping them stay focused compared to the environment around them, right? So we have different colors in our script. So if you're interested in learning about how we coach in our scripts and everything that comes with becoming a top producing agent by building the habit of prospecting, I encourage you to go to www.habitguys.com/call and go ahead and schedule a free coaching consultation and see if it makes sense for you to work with us. Next, the ready to resume plan. All right, let's get practical with a powerful technique from Dr. Sophie Leroy called the ready to resume plan. Now, here's the deal. We all know how challenging it is to get back into flow state, right, after an interruption. Now, Dr. Leroy's research, published in Organization Science, suggests a simple yet effective tactic. When you're interrupted, all right, now listen to this. When you're interrupted, which is going to happen, jot down exactly where you left off and what you plan to do next. This clears your mental slate, reducing what she calls, Dr. Leroy, attention residue. The leftover thoughts that make it hard to fully refocus. Imagine you're halfway through your prospecting session, right? And you get a call that throws you off. So before picking up that phone, take just 10 seconds and write a quick ready to resume note. Like when you get back, when you're done with the call, you're going to see this task, and then that's going to get you back on task. So one of the things I like to teach students is not only do you have a morning routine, which you could build. We have a free workshop. If you go to HabitGuys.com, you'll find the links to the workshop there. It'll set up a morning routine based on behavioral science, getting you from waking up to prospecting consistently. But one of the things I like to add to that is this concept, right? Now, instead of it being, because we know that the process is pretty much the same, right? Unless you were going to specifically call someone that you knew was next. But the way that we teach things, you already have a list, you have targets, it's all pre-planned. So you're just going with the flow. We don't want you thinking, we want you taking action. So what we recommend is that you have a list just to get you back to prospecting, right? So, and this kind of this attention residue, right? Where you're like, okay, well, what do I do next after I hang up with this call? Well, that's what's missing, right? What's missing is what clear actions do I need to follow? So just like you would follow a morning routine by reading it one at a time, one action at a time, and then, doing it one action at a time, that fundamentally will guarantee that you'll get to where you want to go. The same thing applies to this kind of intermittent prospecting refocusing technique, where it's not just one thing, right? It's maybe multiple things, right? Maybe it's turn on your computer, open up the dialer, download or upload leads for FSBOs or expireds or what have you, right? So if there's a process, right, you want to make that process nice, short, and compact, and then you know that it's going to be consistent. So when you come back to being distracted, right, and it doesn't necessarily need to be a call. Maybe you go to the restroom. Maybe you go to get a drink of water or something, right? You come back and you're like, okay, well, wait a second. I'm sitting on my desk and it's very easy to get distracted, right? So you want this list to be visually present, or not present, but more of like, it needs to grab your attention. So it needs to be like on your keyboard. It needs to be like around you, and it needs to take up space where it grabs your attention. And then you just follow it, and then you're back in the groove. So that's fundamentally this ready to resume plan that we focus on and teach our students. So focus isn't just about working harder. It's about working smarter, from brain networks to the strategic use of distraction and the simple but effective ready to resume plan. These insights are here to help you become a prospecting powerhouse. Remember, every call you make is a step closer to that next listing, that next opportunity. Let's keep those brains sharp and those calls rolling. Hey everyone, before we wrap up today's episode, we're excited to offer just our loyal listeners now. If you've been enjoying the content and finding value in our podcast, we'd love to hear from you. Here's the deal. If you leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, not only will it help us reach more real estate professionals like yourself, but we'll also send you a special thank you. Simply screenshot your 5-star review and email it to us at info@habitguys.com. As a token of our appreciation, we'll send you a signed copy of our book, The Habit House, absolutely free. This book is packed with all the strategies and insights you need to build powerful habits and take your real estate career to the next level. So head over to Apple Podcasts, leave that review, and claim your free signed copy today. Thanks for your support and for being a part of the Habit Guys community. In closing, here is the missing piece to your business. It's accepting that when you know better, you do not necessarily do better. You do better when you change your habits. Let us help.